This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code SOCRATES at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenro radio playlist. zenroclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Pornian Bakery. If you're located in the Pornian area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Pornian Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great. You know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself, definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone could podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode. All right, before we jump into the craziness, all right, so did anything in your world happen that was crazy aside from like staying up and watching F1 Japan?
Well, I saw some of the thing. I couldn't watch all of it.
It's like too much. What time is it? Like a full 12-hour difference? Like you're up.
Yeah, I mean it was at 1 a.m. So I saw like the starting, but I didn't want to last till the end, so I'll have to watch it later.
How long are the races?
It depends. Sometimes I think on an average time, maybe 2 hours.
Oh, it's not bad.
Yeah, okay, but like it depends. Why I say it depends is like, if there's like a big crash that happens and it's a red flag, so they have to like clear out the track.
Oh, I see.
So that adds time if those things happen. Yeah, but on a normal rate, I think it's 2 hours. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting because it's not pay-per-view, right? So like you're not like purchasing, like you can't watch these via pay-per-view. You have to watch them through the app or something like that.
Well, how does this? They do have it on sometimes on like TSN or things like that. I don't think they do pay-per-view per se. Okay, but the best way to watch it, I would say, is through the app. Yeah.
Okay. Because the UFC, because you're like, that if there's like a pause or something like that, I'm like, that's how do you account for that? Because like the UFC, because they have like pay-per-view time slots, they have like a specific time, and then if they're running under or over, they have to like adjust. That's why they have like fights in the background just ready in case they need to like fill something or like you know what I'm saying, because like you've purchased the time slot. So that's interesting that F1's done it. Like how long has F1 this is not even about F1, but I'm just curious, like how long has F1 been around?
A long time.
Like long time. Okay.
Yeah, very long
like
time.
Even before the internet.
Let me look up the exact year.
Okay.
Before the internet, I would say yeah. It was like black and white stuff I saw that when F1
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually no. This is the 75th year. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's not too bad. So it's like 100 years. Okay.
Not 75 years, right? Technically.
No, I know, like 100. Like I'm rounding up to like 100. So it's been like 100-year span. How long?
I'm sure like racing has been going on for a while. I don't know when the F1 started. I guess 75 years ago. So.
Okay. How long has the stock market been around? Do you know?
I think for a longer time than that.
Really?
But like, how do you even trade? It's different. Yeah. So you got, how long has I guess like the public been involved in the stock market? Maybe that's different than.
But isn't that like some industrial revolution type stuff? Like you made it during the industrial revolution.
It depends. Yeah, I mean, like I don't think it wasn't easy for people to get involved in the markets before.
Okay.
It wasn't as easy compared to today.
Okay. The reason why I'm getting like I'm like preempting this is like, how long has society been around?
Which society?
Like our modern society, like our
Well, if like do you want to say
industrial revolution?
Well,
but I guess before that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Empire.
Yeah, are you talking about the start of America? Like when? Like,
yeah. All right, start of America. Let's say that. Like when did America begin?
Well, technically 250 years, right? I think something like that.
250 years. Okay, and
I can't remember. I don't want to say that. Let me just see. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Google that. So when did America become industrial? Like when did it become like running?
Well,
Like
I
it's
think
like, oh, we founded America, but it's like, but nothing was
well,
around.
the
Like
change
when was it
really
like, oh, okay,
happened. I think the change really happened 100 years ago, especially with oil. That's what
right,
changed
okay,
everything.
okay.
Yeah.
And like between that time, like let's really think about this. 100 years, you've had like World War I and World War II within that time span. Well, actually, no. When was World War I? Like
There's many
1914?
wars, but yeah.
No, no. When was World War I though?
Oh, World War One in 1912, 19 something like that.
1912. Okay, so we've passed 100 year mark for World War I, but World War II was 19 what 30 something.
40 to
1940.
45, I think.
Okay, cool. It's crazy. I don't even know this. But like, if you really, and you know what's weird? It's like during their time, this is the most important thing, and I'm having a hard time trying to remember it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like we have this weird memory loss of everything that just happened. Like, if you ask a kid from today, we were actually at Costco yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, look at that kid! Like they're so cute." And then Tara's like, "Oh, they seem so serious." And I look down, they're on an iPad, but they're like
Mm-hmm.
a baby, like a baby, like maybe 3 years old on
Right.
an iPad trying to figure something out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now let's make it to like when that kid is more consciously aware. Let's say they're like 14, they're gonna not know about like the internet never being around.
Right.
Like you and I can like distinctly remember when the internet started. We're like, oh, this is a new thing. We're all getting
Mm-hmm.
computers. It's crazy, right? You know what I mean? And like the world then is totally different than the world now,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I don't know if I sent you that thing. This like economist guy, he was saying that in 5 years we're gonna not even know what world it is that we live in because it's just the technological advancement is just so rapid because of like quantum computing, artificial intelligence, and then I'm throwing in there like UAP stuff, new science, like what is this gonna look like? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And and then we habituate to again, and then we forget that there was like this time period. Because when you say it like, oh, it's only been 100 years, the time span between like World War I, World War II, and then now, you're like, dude, World War I, World War II is so long ago. But it's like not really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why do we think that we know everything now? No, but like real, like
Mm-hmm.
why
Mm-hmm.
do we think we're so intelligent that we figured everything out? Like you listen to scientists, and you're like, seems like you guys got figured out. You know what I mean?
But I don't know if scientists necessarily say that, but it's just what they're
No, no, no,
studying, right?
but like the like, have you heard like Eric Weinstein on a podcast being like, oh, I did the geometric unity, did this, and then like Brian Cox is like, oh, this is this, and you got Michio Kaku, well, this is this, and you're like, oh, you guys really know a lot of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like you know a lot of stuff about the universe, and you think that that makes you the arbiter for truth and knowledge. Like if you believe it to be true, you're gonna tell us, and we're all gonna be like, yeah, yeah, for sure, that's what's up, right?
Okay.
No, like think about it. We
Yeah,
always
yeah,
default
yeah.
to somebody smarter than us, right? We're like,
Sure,
oh, well, they
sure.
said. How
Mm-hmm.
do you know that's true? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And and it's crazy to me because it's like as you look more into things like the UFO and like Terrence Howard stuff, which is what we're gonna talk about, is like, do you guys really know what's going on? Or is this more like just 100 years of arrogance? You know, like the hubris of the human experience being like, yeah, I totally know what's going on. But it's like, do you really know what's going on? You know, what was your foundational mathematics built upon? Like Newtonian physics. All right, cool. So when was Newton around? Like 200 years ago? When was Newton around?
Don't know exactly. Probably more than that.
More than that. Okay. So like let's say
I don't
okay,
know.
you
Yeah,
figure
yeah,
well,
yeah,
we'll
yeah. Go
Google
ahead.
like
Yeah.
when did Newton die? Like
Sure.
Isaac Newton. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Isaac Newton, 1727.
Okay, seven. That was like 300 years ago. Yeah, I'm so bad at math. Like 300 years ago, 17 or in
Yeah, yeah,
2020.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Um, okay, so 300 years ago, and you're still running off of the mathematics that he believed, given like the instruments that he had. So like
Mm-hmm.
you were using observation to be like, yeah, the apple fell on my head. Okay, this makes sense. And we're in high school, like you and me remember like remember those triangles? VDT,
Yeah,
velocity
yeah, 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 yeah.
is distance over time, VDT. That's how I remembered it, like these triangles.
Mm-hmm.
And like I remember like real and there's like, yeah, there's Newton's laws, whatever, whatever, right? But like how do we know math hasn't changed given what we now observe through new technologies?
Mm-hmm.
But and when you're like, oh, well, that makes no sense, but they can't get quantum physics to work, or they're like, it's not working. Like things are changing at a quantum level that we don't really understand because it's not following Newtonian laws. Because Newtonian laws were based off of what you can see, right? But not like when you can't see it, then you're like, okay, now we're like in the realm of theoretical mathematics, and because of that, our math's not mathing. And like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's probably because it's subatomic, blah blah blah. Like they just make up like a bunch of stuff, right? And like space, oh, yeah, it's probably because of this, right? Um, so when was Einstein around? So that's our most contemporary like intel. No, you know what? Nikola Tesla, because he was the one who was really onto this.
So I'll just first when he died then. 1943.
Okay, 19. Oh, that's 1943.
Mm-hmm.
Nikola Tesla died. When did Einstein die?
Let's see. Einstein died 55.
Okay, cool. So, wow. That's a mind blow. I didn't even know when they died. Okay, cool. So, here is the backstory of what happened. And it's just all making it's crazy because it's like the internet allows you to make it all make sense, and it's just clicking now because everything's lining up perfectly. So, Tesla believed in infinite energy. He's like, oh, I can tap into the vacuum of space and we can like provide infinite energy to everyone in the world, right? But then it was who was the guy? Like, was it Alexander Graham Bell, the guy ACDC? He made like, which is what we use today,
Yeah,
ACDC
yeah,
currents.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's Bell. Was it
Okay,
Bell or
so
Edison? Not Edison, right?
uh,
No, Edison was before that, I think.
who invented
Oh, I think it's
ACDC
Edison.
currents? Edison?
1931 though. He died in
Yeah,
1931.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
It's
Well, because they were
Edison.
young when they were coming up with their
Yeah, yeah,
theories. So during this time, all these scientists were like figuring stuff out. They're looking at the occult, whatever, whatever, right? And Nikola Tesla was like, "Hey, you can tap into the vacuum of space, and we can have infinite free energy." And
yeah.
then
Mm-hmm.
and then they had the ACDC thing, and then he was going to win the contract. So he literally flew to go to like Europe or something, or I don't know where that guy was, and he was like trying to plead with him, like, no, my math is way better than your math. Like, look at this, right? But then commercialization kicked in, and they're like, well, I'm about to get this contract, so that's how we're gonna roll, right? So now the whole world is running off of wired energy because of
Sure.
this. But this was again less than 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So during that time, like everything built up, we have the internet, like our entire infrastructure is built off of wired connections, electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what Terrence Howard is proposing, and a lot of UAP people as well, like the crazy part is Terrence Howard's not even paying attention to UAPs. Like at the beginning of the podcast with Patrick Bet David, he's like, "Oh, I tried to get you to watch the like UFO thing." He's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," but like he like too many things going on. Like I can't pay attention to that. I'm concerned with this science, right? But as an observer, I'm listening to everyone, and I'm like, "You guys know you're talking about the same thing, right?" And you guys know that you're all talking about Tesla's theory, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the thing that Tesla got like buried on is now what's resurfacing as like, wait, we could run the world like this. But it's through the internet that we're able to communicate these ideas. And I really think that the internet changed the game in that way, where
Mm-hmm.
like if you were an alien species and like trying to tell the world something, right? Like, hey, you guys need to evolve. What's the best way to do it? Okay, let's give them a way to communicate. Okay, all right, if the day after Roswell's true and you got fiber optic cables from this and like all that stuff, like they can start to manufacture a communication device to let the whole world talk, right? because obviously the internet was made through the army, but like, how do you spread it? Like fiber optic cables. That's why it's high speed now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what Terrence Howard said in the beginning, and when you listen to it on the Joe Rogan podcast the first time, you're like, I don't know if this is true, but it sounds crazy. It's making a lot of sense. Like intuitively it makes sense. You're like, oh, that lines up, right? So what he's saying is that the whole world is based off of harmonics, like sounds, right? And this idea of gravity is not real. We are confusing gravity with something that we could see, but on a microscopic level, it's not working. Like gravity's changing at the quantum level because gravity is a byproduct of electricity or magnetism. It's
Mm-hmm.
not actually a universal constant like Newton said. But we're all like, oh yeah, mass creates gravity, right? But he's like, no, electricity and magnetism create gravity. You're just seeing a byproduct of this thing. Sounds crazy. You're like, oh, dude, I don't know if you're right, right? And then he's saying like the periodic table, like he said a bunch of things that you're just like, I don't know if this is real, right? And then he broke the internet with that first interview. So then Joe brought him on with Eric Weinstein, and then Terrence's like, great, an intelligent person will be able to like corroborate my stuff in real time. But when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, he's kind of making you sound dumb, bro. Like he's like kind of he's like he's being like patronizing a bit,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's like, oh yeah, that's cute, but you don't know this. Oh, da, 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 blah blah blah. Oh, we'll have a conversation after, blah blah. Right? And then on this new podcast with Patrick Bet David, he mentioned that in the beginning that like Eric Weinstein, he was just being polite. He's like, okay, cool, you can do whatever you want because like you have all the accolades, you're a scientist, whatever, whatever. You're a mathematician, sorry, and you were being condescending, but it's all good, right? On this one, I don't know how Patrick Bet David had a freaking connection to this, but he got a 20-year NASA scientist onto the podcast who corroborates not all, but some of what Terrence Howard is saying. And
Mm-hmm.
when you see it, it's like, okay, he must be onto something. And the NASA scientist was saying, like, because Terrence had, like, Eric Weinstein's like, you gotta get peer reviewed, you gotta peer reviewed. And the NASA scientist was saying, peer review is a way to suppress ideas that are contrary to what you believe in. Because what Terrence Howard is saying is that your foundation of mathematics is incorrect. You've built it upon something that you thought was true, which is gravity is a universal constant and it's based off of mass. But when in reality, it's based off of magnetism and electricity,
Mm-hmm.
which is what the NASA scientist was like, yeah, that is what it is. And he's like, he brought up props, the NASA scientist, and he's like, let me demonstrate this for you. Like Patrick Bet David's kind of laughing because like, why are you props? And he's like, this is for like a high school student can understand it. And he demonstrated how you can like cancel out the magnetism with like a small experiment. And he said, now times that at a molecular level, like over and over and over. Like he just did it. Like he basically just folded a magnet in half like 2 times. Oh, right here. So he had like a instrument. He showed that it's magnetized, right? Then he folds it 2 times over,
Mm-hmm.
like in half, and then he's like, "Do you guys think it'll be like I'll be able to pick up more, right? Theoretically." And then both Terrence Howard and um, Patrick Bet David were like, "Yeah, of course, because you've made it smaller, so the magnetism should be stronger, and you should be able to pick up more balls because the magnets are more compressed." So he's like, "That's what everyone thinks." Then he touched the thing, and he's showing that you canceled out the magnetic pull.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and they were like baffled. But then Terrence Howard was like, oh no, because of gravity, blah, blah, blah. He started explaining it in his own head. And then the NASA scientist was like, now just fold that over 1,000,000 times. You've actually created anti gravity. Like, gravity is not a universal constant based off mass. Gravity is based off of magnetism. And it's like a polarization. You can like, make the opposite of connection
Mm-hmm.
using magnets and electricity. Crazy part. So you're like, oh, dude, that sounds so gnarly. I was like, what? We're getting hover cars, bro. You just proved it, right? Theoretically speaking. But then I think his name's Sal Paez, and like all of these different scientists in the UAP sphere, they're like, gravity is based off of electricity. If you can create a different electric pulse, you can create anti-gravity. That's what they're all saying, but nobody showed it. Like this NASA scientists are like, oh, dude, like You guys are literally talking about the same thing. And then with harmonics, what Terrence Howard was saying, like the whole universe is based on harmonics, you can also affect the exact same thing using harmonics, because when you listen to the UAP whistleblower who went underground in the base, he's like, oh, I heard this hum and they were levitating like this giant ton block. And I'm like, oh, nothing's touching it. And I'm like, oh, how did they do that? But now just
Mm-hmm.
put in what Terrence Howard was saying, and it's like, oh, that's how you did it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But all of this is Nikola Tesla, bro. Like, that's what, like, Terrence Howard didn't make this up. He
Mm-hmm.
mathematically proved it, and he created invention. This is the thing, right? Science is only as good as your invention until it becomes utilitarian, right? And then he literally made products with patents based off of these concepts. So I'm like, okay, there must be something here. What do you think? Before I get into like another crazy thing.
That's fine. I don't know what to say about that. There's
So like isn't it bewildering? You're just like, wait a minute, what the frig is going on here? You're like, wait, Tesla was saying this. Like, doesn't it seem like it's like lining up? You know? Or it's like, oh man, that's still too crazy for me. But I'm like, it would be crazy for me too if Terrence Howard was alone. But now you have this NASA scientist that's showing little examples of like why his theory is correct. I'm just like, what? Okay, why
mm-hmm.
is this being suppressed? Why are we not looking at this? It seems like conspiracy, right?
Well, I mean, what is this scientist doing? Is he not doing
The
things like
NASA
this?
scientist?
Yeah.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He just listened to the podcast and he's like, oh no, he's kind of correct.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Patrick David's like, will you come on to the show and like explain what you think is correct? He's like, yeah, sure, why not? He's like, he's not at all in this field. He's very respected. Eric Weinstein's a colleague of his. Um, he's very high up in NASA, but
Mm-hmm.
he's not trying to prove these things. He's just like, no, I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's kind of like an open secret to them too. Like they know it's real, but like the whole world's crapping on Terrence Howard, but he's like he's saying the correct thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he wanted to come on, because he's like, I listened to the podcast and I'm like, yeah, you're right. And it's an old Chinese dude, bro. It's not even like some dude trying to get clout. He's like, he has like a thick accent. He's just like he's like a nerdy scientist trying to be like, oh, this because of this. So I'm like he's not trying to be famous. This
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
scientist, he's
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
just like, oh, I heard it, and I was like, yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I really think hover cars are in our future. All right. So here's another crazy thing that kind of proves it again. So you know how, like um, dark matter and dark energy. They're like, we don't know what it is, but there's something holding the universe together. Right? You've
Mm-hmm.
heard of that, right? Dark matter, dark energy. We're
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
prove
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's why we're making all these experiments. So what that NASA scientist was saying, and what Terrence Howard was saying, is that you need those experiments. You need to try and prove it because you can't, because you think that gravity is a constant. So you think that there's something holding everything together. But if gravity is an effect of electricity, then you don't actually need dark matter, dark energy. We just made those things up and we're in this infinite quest to try and find it because we're trying to prove an incorrect piece of mathematics. And I was like, that's a mind blow because it makes sense, bro. Like, why is everyone in search for like dark energy? Because they're like, it doesn't exist. You're trying to prove it because your math is wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, and then it's like, so then what is this field of study that everyone's looking at? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but it makes sense. Like the science adds up if you look at it on like our physical plane, but nobody can rectify the issues seen at a quantum level
Mm-hmm.
unless you don't take gravity as a constant. You take gravity as like a byproduct of electrical forces. And that's what they were both saying. They're like, yeah, if you just switch it, everything makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why they want to keep pushing him, like being like, no, 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 nobody wants to peer review it, is because then it obliterates all of their science.
Okay.
Because then it's like, well, you're based off of a wrong thing, and then we have to redo the drawing board. But
Mm-hmm.
like, that's why I asked you, like, when was Newton around? You know, what I mean? When was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Einstein around? Right? It's like, okay, so you've done this for 300 years, but now we need to change it, and people have like built theories around this, like string theory and like
Mm-hmm.
um, what's Eric Weinstein's one that Eric Weinstein trying to prove like this gravitational unity theory. But like Terrence Howard's like, you'll never get there because you're thinking gravity's a universal constant. And and now it's like, where are we headed? That's what I'm thinking. It's like, okay, I think we're on the precipice of like 2025 is about to be the craziest game changing thing. Like you just put this on a million views on this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're getting more and more people into it. It's not even like us. It's more about scientists being like, is that real? And then they're going to look at it. And one thing that the NASA science, I didn't finish it yet, but like the one thing the NASA scientist was saying, Terrence Howard, outside of peer review, public opinion. So even if
Mm-hmm.
you don't get peer reviewed, if you can get enough eyeballs on this, then people are just going to mathematically figure it out themselves and they'll be like, oh, he's correct.
Right.
Yeah. And do you know the three body problem?
Yeah.
No, no, not the show. Like, do you know what the actual problem is?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what it is, but he said he solved it. And he shows the math. He's like, here's the math.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Is it like
It.
something like you enter a third body and you can't
Yeah. Yeah.
possibly.
So it's just the two body thing is it's like it's just say it's like two planets and like kind of how they like revolve based on their
Yeah, okay.
gravity, right? So then you
Mhm.
add a third one. What happens to that?
And then they can't figure it out, right?
I don't know if they necessarily can't figure it out. But it's just there's
Some
it,
errors or something.
it's not errors. It's just how does that revolution kind of work with the third element?
Oh, okay, okay. So he said that like his equation, when you take out gravity, it works every time. And remember when he said he recreated Saturn or something?
Yeah,
Or like,
it was
remember that thing? And you're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
what the hell are you talking about, bro? I was like, I was confused by this. And this is the one of the things that the NASA scientist was like, you're onto something. So
Mm-hmm.
he, so what the NASA scientist said is they run models like this all the time. They create things using simulations, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not actually physically creating Saturn. I was like, are you creating Saturn, bro? I don't understand this. But it's like, it's a mathematical program, right? So that's how they get their like rockets to work and stuff, right? They use it all the time, models. And what Terrence Howard did was he recreated Saturn without gravity. And that's when the NASA scientist is like, yeah, because gravity's not real. Dude,
Mm-hmm.
how long negative 3.14? Remember, like the speed of gravity, like what's the speed of gravity?
Yeah.
So like what the hell do we do with that now? Is it not? Because I've heard like he said that like in different places it's not negative 3.14 or something, and then like physicists will say that too. And I'm just like, is that because of the atmosphere? I'm so confused. But it's like, no, it's because like gravity's not real. It's just depending on polarities of where you are. Like, what the hell are you saying, bro?
Yeah, that's just the average, right? Earth is not a full proper circle, right?
Right. But like, but what I'm getting at here is like we've built so many ideas in our head
Mm-hmm.
given this thing. So it's
Yeah, yeah.
obviously paradigm shifting. Like me, negative 3.14,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or negative 3, whatever it is, negative 9.8, negative
Nine
9.8,
9.8 actually. 3.4 is pi.
3.4 is pi. Yeah. Yeah. So like we have all these things memorized in our brains, but it's going back to the kid, right? Like the kid at Costco who we saw like using the iPad.
Mm-hmm.
If we go from this point forward with new paradigms, new mathematics, like kids growing up today are thinking about UFOs, bro, because it's been in the like we're all seeing them, blah blah. Like as an adult, we're like, dude, this is crazy. This is paradigm shifting. This is like ontological shock. Like, oh my god, aliens are real. But then you go to a kid and they're like, yeah, aliens are real. What?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's all about the education of what you are providing to that next generation. And that to me is like a mind blow. And when he said like that one economist, like, we won't know what the world is like in 5 years. I'm like, we won't know what the world is like in 20 years because what are these kids gonna invent, bro?
Yeah.
They're
I
thinking
mean,
about aliens,
no
bro.
one, yeah, no one thought about an iPhone or what an
That's
iPhone's going to
right,
do, right? No one
bro.
had that in mind.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy because then you're like, dude, you're just gonna invent something like with this new discovery, and I'm sure it's just gonna blow up more because like you have a literal NASA scientist corroborating some of his theories. He's like, I don't agree with all of them, but we'll talk about the ones I agree with. And like one of the main ones being like gravity's not real and we can create anti-gravity. Okay, that's hover cars, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know what? I didn't look into this yet, but Terrence Howard. So what he said that they did was they revoked his visa, so he can't travel, right? His passport, and the reason why is he's alleging is because they don't want him to shop it around, because he was going to go to Dubai to look for investors to create things, right? They're like, no, we need to keep it in house. And then he's like, what? Terrence Howard was like, if you
But
guys
how
won't
can they
listen to me,
revoke a passport? How can they do that?
they said it was because of his. They said like, oh, he didn't pay taxes. He's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh, it's because of your like child claims. Like they went from like
Oh, that
child
make. I
issues
think
to
that's
like
different
taxes.
then. Yeah. Okay. Like you're
Yeah,
fleeing to pay your taxes.
something like that. They're like, yeah, and he's like, what? Where's my passport? And they're like,
Well,
yeah.
that makes
Anyway,
sense. But yeah.
totally, totally. But is it like is it real? Because they had an initial claim, and then he's like, that's not real. And then they had a different claim. They're like, oh no, it's actually this instead. It's like, oh dude, you're trying to keep me from going. But anyways,
Sure.
so he's saying is he's so upset at because he's trying to tell the American people this. He's like,
But he can't do
I'm
it
just
from here.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe like a
I thought the internet's supposed to do that.
no, but like I don't know, because there's certain things where it's like we can keep it enclosed. It's like a skiff. Think about it like secure. You can't have a skiff online because it's like virtual. People could record. I could have a phone right here just
No, no,
recording your
I
thing.
understand that. I understand that. No, I'm just wondering, like, you can't do it from
No,
like through
I
here.
couldn't because I couldn't see that either. It's like if you wanted to keep this patent secret or like whatever, it's like there's so many bugs. Like what if they just record the conversation then okay, your ideas are mine. Gone. But if you go
Mm-hmm.
into like a board meeting room with like, all right, we'll all put our phones out. I'm just gonna explain this idea to you. You know what I mean? Like I could see the holes in it because
Mm-hmm.
it's not like a you're dealing with like inventions. You're not dealing with like a business opportunity. Like he'll have to explain why it's gonna work, but then you could just
Yeah.
steal that idea. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what he was saying is like he's like so pissed that nobody will take him seriously. So he's like, I'll just shop around different countries. And then he said, what he'll do instead is he'll drop the mathematical proof for infinite free energy. And I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't Google it, but like maybe I will after this podcast, like once I finish it. But again, he's not looking at UFOs. He's
Mm-hmm.
looking at
Yeah.
Nikola Tesla and 0 point. Goddamn balloons, bro. Every time I say something like conspiratorial. But so like with that, it's like, okay, so you have tapped into the same thing that UFOs are using, which Nikola Tesla saw, and you are like realizing it and you're sharing it with the world. It's almost like this information wants to get out. We want to become a better species. And then like Patrick Bet David was like, well, what do you foresee from this? Like, what do you want to see out of this? He's like, I just want a better world where we're not drilling into the earth. We can use energy in like a free, clean way. And then he talked about healing. You can heal with resonance as well, like vibrate
Sounds like a
harmonies.
leftist to me.
No, totally. I agree with you for sure, for sure. But like, if we have these alternate ways of living, we are entering into the cyberpunk reality that we saw in anime, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
he was saying that you can heal using harmonics as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you don't need to cut into anyone. Remember, and I think it was the last podcast when I was telling you about the scalar waves. Remember the guy he
Yeah, yeah,
healed
yeah.
himself with parasites through scalar waves, and you're like, okay, that's you're not invasive. And then now Terrence Howard's like, yeah, you can heal this with harmonies, not cutting into someone. And I'm like, okay, what is the world gonna look like in 20 years, bro? We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be in like some crazy cyberpunk future. This is what I truly believe. I truly believe that with everything stacked up, everyone's a pessimist about this. I'm not. Like
Mm-hmm.
Tara's like, I was trying to tell her, and she's like, yeah, there's no way they're gonna let us. It's like the elites are gonna keep you like from making money, and like they're gonna suppress this information. Blah blah blah. No, but like that's what they've been doing. See, that's the thing. It's like everything up until now without the internet has been a suppression of information. Because you could air a story, but then you should never re-air it. But now we should Google it. We're like, what? Is that
Mm-hmm.
real? You know what I mean? Oh, dude, check out this article. Oh, look at Terrence Howard on this thing. Things can go viral. I think like information sharing is what makes humanity like the best it can be, collaborative teamwork,
Yeah,
right? Like
it was just
yeah.
difficult before to get all the information. The information was there. It's just now you have to physically go to a library, right? Like
Yes,
search up or like look through articles. Remember those screens and stuff,
bro. And you're like,
right?
oh, it's work, bro.
It's a lot of work, right? That time, it's the time is what the issue was too, right? So with the
Yeah,
internet, is you can look it up searching online at home and find it,
yeah, dude, facts. And with
right?
AI now, AI is even
Mm-hmm.
crazier. You're just like, what is this thing? And AI will give it to you, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we were doing Tara and I were working on this spreadsheet, and she didn't know the formula for something. She's like, "I'll just open ChatGPT." I'm like, I don't know how to use it. Me, right?
Yeah.
I was just watching her type it, like not even. I'm like, you're not even gonna put a period. You're not gonna make it sound correct. She's like, ChatGPT doesn't know what I'm saying, and it responded with the correct answer, and just like, here's the code. And I'm like, you didn't even give it like a full sentence of like, I'm trying to do this. Da, 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 da,
Right.
da.
Right.
It was
Right.
just more like, I need code for this. Let's try and do this. And you're like, how did it figure it out?
Mm-hmm.
Like to me that was bewildering, but it's like to her, she used ChatGPT all the time.
Right.
And I'm just like, bro, if it's this good now, like
Mm-hmm.
where's it gonna be in the future, bro? So like again, these are the things that where it's like we really tried to suppress this information. I heard this on a UFO podcast. All the information is out there. It's the organization of the information that makes it threatening. So like you can the TR3B,
Mm-hmm.
that's in public domain. You can Google TR3B. You'll see the patent for the triangle UFO. Literally, you will find the patent and the diagram and the schematics for the triangle UFO that everyone's seeing in like the skies.
Mm-hmm.
It's the TR3B, right? But it's public information. But the collection of that information, the sharing of that information, that's what's threatening. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting because now with AI, they're sourcing everything. You're like, tell me what you know about UFOs. Boom, AI. You're like, oh, what?
Mm-hmm.
And you start looking into it. You're like, oh my God, this is real, you know? And like, that is the gatekeeping, which we really cannot hold back. I really don't think that the elites can hold on to. I say elites like it's a bad thing, but like the people who've created this world in the past 100 years that have really profited off it, there's no way they're going to be able to maintain this power. I really believe that. It's like, it's just impossible. You have Skywatcher, you have freaking Terrence Howard, you have Patrick Bet David saying things, you have like, who knew about Gary Nolan, bro? Gary Nolan, the Nobel winning virologist who's now looking into UFOs and he's on the Skywatcher team. I'm like, I had no idea who you were. But now the whole world knows who you are. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
like, and then who are these other people that listen to this and they're like, oh, I know, like the NASA scientist, bro. This NASA scientist, 20 years, just doing like his own thing. And then he heard the podcast. He's like, no, he's onto something.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, why is everybody talking smack about him? So he goes on this podcast with him and he's like, no, he's correct. And he shows like examples. You're like, oh my God, bro, where are we going to be? Like, you can't hide the information.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm excited about. Or what do you think? Do you agree? Disagree?
Yeah, I think more information is always better, of course.
And the
So,
genie's out of the bottle, right?
yeah, there's nothing wrong with
It's like,
testing new ideas, testing even old ideas that we thought were old ideas, but are working, right? There's nothing wrong with that.
that's what, that's, no, no, no. You and I are on the same page. There's nothing wrong with that. Unless you're making a lot of money from that.
I
Then
don't
you're like, you're
see why not.
threatening my money.
I get that, but I don't see why they wouldn't also shift their money into new things.
Because if you have to buy it once and never have to buy it again, where do you make your money after that? If you can just buy a little pack and like, hey man, just get the 0 point battery. It'll last your entire life. It'll
Mm-hmm.
last beyond your entire, it'll last for your entire millennia. It's like, okay, so how do we make our money? It's you know what it is? It's like the weed example. When I was saying like in that class, like we were talking about like global economics, and I was like, the only reason why weed's illegal is because you don't know how to tax it. I'm like, oh, you're crazy. Then they made OCS, the Canada thing, and they're like, oh, let's just tax weed. Oh, okay, cool. Because you can still grow your own. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to buy it at the store, but they figured out a way to tax it. So if you maybe that's what it'll be. It's like you'll have a subscription to the 0 point forever. I'm not sure, but like you know what I'm saying? Like they need to figure out how to monetize 0 point, and then it'll be like it's just game change. Like you only have to buy it once. But that's the threat. It's like if you can't figure out how to monetize it, then what?
Well, I mean, see, when Facebook or like all these ones came out, they weren't making money, right? They didn't know how to make money from it till later.
No, right. Facebook is new money, but I'm talking about the 100 year. Like remember we were like, oh, when did the America really start taking off? Like, oh, like Industrial Revolution. Okay, so since then, certain companies have been making lots of money.
Sure.
So now, how do they make their money going forward?
Well, it always shifted, right? What happened to the coal companies?
Yeah, for sure. But that was so disruptive to them. And I think that they're looking at that and being like, oh, dude, we can't be like the coal companies. Like, you're right. We shifted, but it's like that was so detrimental to the coal company. And I'm pretty sure the gasoline company is like, we can't be them. We're going to lose all our jobs. You know, so it's like they're going to do their best to suppress this information, keep us on the incorrect mathematics, you know? Like, because how else are they going to stay in power?
Yeah, no, I understand that. But I think that that's the whole idea of competition, unless it's a rigged competition, as you're saying.
That's the rigged competition. That's why nobody wanted to peer review it. And that's why the NASA scientist was like, peer review is a way to keep new ideas down. Because, oh, you're not with us. Oh, you need this PhD first in order to get peer reviewed. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, Terrence Howard doesn't have any of that, but he's seeing the mathematics. He's proving it with like things he's building, right? Oh, well, it's not real because it's not peer reviewed. Okay, cool. Do public opinion. That's what the NASA scientist said. Forget the peer review, just public opinion. And that's what we're all seeing. Because I know after this podcast, it came out on like Friday or something. Now all these scientists are definitely going to be looking into it, being like, wait, is that true? And then if they do, then they're going to find new things, you know? And if he did release the mathematics for 0 point, then it's like, bro, there it is. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, that is like the game-changing thing that you've just open sourced to the whole world to figure out their own ways to create 0 point. You've just disrupted the entire stock market. You've disrupted the entire global economic chain because we have to really rethink how we're shifting things. He also said about resonance and harmonics, you won't need cranes anymore. You can lift things with harmonics. And I'm like, dog, if that's true too, like what the hell, like what is this world looking like? You know, there's the crane company gone. You know, it's so disruptive. It's like too disruptive. You know.
No, I understand that, but I think
no, you don't think it'll be that disruptive.
No. I believe in a free market where disruption does happen all the time.
Yeah, but you're also free to rig the market. That's the thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm just saying, like it's happened before. It's not like, right? Of course, they're going to try to fight back, trying to survive, but I don't think that they can survive if the truth is the actual truth, right? So right. like the you know, I just keep thinking, just thinking about the iPhone. Well, they thought it was going to fail because it doesn't have a physical keyboard. But what happened to BlackBerry?
Right. No, totally. But no, now imagine, like, let's go back, Tesla time, so 1945 or something. Let's go back to like 100 years. Let's say we had the internet, okay? Instead of Nikola Tesla trying to fly out and be like, hey, man, my idea is way better. It's going to provide free energy to everyone. Yours is flawed. And then that guy, instead of the backroom deals that are going on, he puts it online. It goes viral. We're like, wait, we can have free energy? Like, I think that the reason why we don't have the utopic world that we want, is because of a suppression of information. And the internet is literally kicking that down. Because if Nikola Tesla was like, hey guys, free energy, here's the mathematics, blah, blah, puts it online, we're all like, oh, dude, let's go this way. Nobody's going to buy the AC/DC thing. There's like, this one's better. But they gatekeeped it before because like, well, nobody will know about this. We'll just kill you, you know? Like, bro, that's crazy. And that's why we're here now. And this is why I really believe we're at a turning point of like, we're at an Armageddon. the old world is over. Like the new world is like from this point on, I really think 2025 going forward, it's like cats out of the bag, bro. You like Terrence Howard, UAPs, what the hell are we doing? You know?
Mm.
Yeah. Does it all sound crazy or is like yeah, because it does sound crazy. Like
Yeah, of
I'm thinking like,
course.
dude, that sounds freaking crazy, bro. But it's like just look into it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. You think I'm like too far out there or like
This is a lot of wait and see kind of thing.
totally. It is a lot of
Right.
wait and see. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, anything else about Terrence Howard before I bring up another wait and see?
No, no, I didn't see that one. So yeah, that's fine.
Tomorrow's Skywatcher, bro. I was telling you this yesterday. Like, so they released an interview with Jake Barber. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen him in a long time. Cool, I'm gonna watch it. And then like what they're saying is April 7th tomorrow, they're going to release their part two. They have a third video that they're not releasing yet, but they're releasing part two. And part two is going to go over what they've learned so far and the 9 classifications of UAP that they're able to call.
Hmm.
What the hell are you saying right now, bro? 9 of them? I thought there was just like a triangle, a tic tac, like blah, blah, blah. But he's like, no, we've an orb. But he said that there was one that's like a jellyfish. It looks like a jellyfish. And I know that there was he's like that viral video that everyone saw the jellyfish flying over the Afghanistan base. He's like, it's not that one. It like literally looks like a jellyfish that we're able to call. And I'm like, okay, are there sea creatures that evolved in the ocean that built some technology that we're like, how is this? Like, what is this, bro? Or did like the ancient civilizations who used the pyramids as like the Tesla energy? That's the other thing too, ancient civilizations, right? Like the pyramids theoretically are also a Tesla energy device. It's free energy throughout the whole world, right? So it's like you have all these things like Nikola Tesla saying it, Terrence Howard saying it, ancient civilizations theoretically using the pyramids for this. It's like, okay, this is what we were meant to be doing. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But anyways, so it's like the species that invented the pyramid, did they go underground and hide? Like what happened to you guys? You know? And then it's like now we're finding these UAPs and it's like, are they aliens or are they the ancient civilizations?
Hmm. Right.
Right? Yeah. Like, yeah, how do you feel about the 9 classifications? Like, to me, I'm like very excited, but I'm also like, what the hell's going on with the reality, bro? Or do you not feel like, yeah, it's all part of it? You know, but for me, I'm
I
kind of
don't
like,
know.
well,
I mean,
this is
again,
crazy
that's
shocking.
sure.
You know, what I mean? Like, we're waiting for the video, and if the video is so crazy, you're just like, ooh.
Hmm.
So you know what,
Well,
you know
that's
what
what
they
people are
did?
waiting for, right? People are waiting for like a real clear image of whatever they're talking about, right?
Do you see
Yeah.
the thing I sent you, the leaked image of the 1971 UAP that they caught on
Where
the
I didn't.
I sent it
On.
on Instagram. So I thought it was like, I was like, oh, I saw it on my UFO channel. I'm like, I don't know, this is real. And I started seeing other people posting, like, oh my God, is this real? It's like a
Hmm.
leaked image and it's just so undeniable. You see, it's a like a high resolution photo. It's not high resolution because, you know, back then it wasn't high resolution, but it's like a very clear photo of a giant ship.
Hmm.
To me, I'm like, this is Wakanda, bro. Like, what are you guys doing? You know? Look at it after I send you on Instagram.
Sure.
And it's like floating around Instagram. But it's like there's definitely something
Hmm.
outside of us. There's something adjacent to our species,
Right.
right? Like, do you feel that way or like I don't know. This doesn't feel like a hoax anymore. There's no way that you can like, dude, all of you guys are saying this. Like, what are you talking about here? You know,
Hmm.
like, can you still be a denier at this point? Like, is the information so overwhelming at this point that you're just like, somebody needs to look into this, guys?
Sure. Yeah.
Right, right?
Hmm.
Like that's how I feel. It's like, okay, we really need our like best scientists, bro. Like this is too crazy for me right now.
Hmm.
Yeah. And one thing that Gary Nolan was saying too. Oh, no, I remember I was gonna say too. So they hired a strategic. I saw him on different podcasts before, and he was talking about UAPs, and he's like, I work for. a defense contractor for AI for the government, and then I think Doge just signed him on or something. Like he's a part of like I don't know if it's Doge, but like he's a part of something with the government to like verify like artificial intelligence or something. But then Skywatcher just signed that guy on, and his role is to figure out strategically how to unravel this to the public without freaking them out. He fully said that in the interview, like that's my role now. And I'm like, yeah, because when you said nine, I was like, that's a lot, and that's all you've only seen. It
Mm-hmm.
must be more than nine, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe we are gonna get controlled disclosure in 2025. Like, hey guys, here's all this information.
But yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
we'll see. I mean, what happened to the drones though? That no information came out for that, or
they went and studied that. So it might be. So Skywatcher went when they saw the drones, they all flew out there, and they're like, yeah. In the interview, what they were saying is like, so most were hobbyist drones, but there
mm-hmm.
were like orbs and stuff. And I feel like that's what's going to be shown in part two, which is tomorrow. Like we just gotta wait to see like what did you guys capture? Because they did say that they went when the New Jersey drones were going. They're like the whole team were going,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like we were able to catch some stuff. I'm like, okay, what did you catch, bro? Like we need to
Right.
see it.
Yeah.
But so again, it's like okay, you have free energy, you have UAPs. It's like how does our civilization continue after this? All right, check this out. Check this out. We have UAPs, the potential for free energy, anti gravity. We have a housing crisis. We have an economic crisis. We have massive unemployment. We have crazy disparity between rich and poor. You have economists saying that America is going to become like a third world. You're going to have super rich and super poor, nobody in the middle. All those things stacked up against us. You have the war against DEI. Do you see the thing where like there was a Boston protest against Trump yesterday?
No.
And it just came up in my feed. I was like, yo, that's insane. Like all of downtown Boston, everyone came out and they're just protesting against Trump. I'm
Mm.
like, what are we doing, bro? You have like potential like war with China. And then I was listening to this defense contractor saying how we need to work with Russia because right now it looks like China and Russia are like Eric Prince. He's like the Blackwater guy. He's like a major defense contractor, and he was on this like interview, and he was saying like, I think we need to ally with Russia because Russia and China might become too powerful, and we have a lot of things similar to Russia. And I was like, is that why you guys are reducing your funding to Ukraine? Is this the plan? And so much turmoil. And you're like, how can society continue in this manner
Mm-hmm.
without having some sort of Armageddon? Either we're gonna have a crazy dystopia of like a world that's just like terrible, or we're just gonna evolve into this freaking utopic society,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And like you see what I'm saying? Like so many
Yeah.
things stacked up against us. That's like I just don't see nothing not changing. Like the status quo is gone, bro. There's no status quo.
Mm-hmm.
We're going left or we're going right. I truly believe we're going right because the internet and the information that's out there is going to push us in that direction. Yeah. What you perked up when I said the Russia thing? What were you thinking? I said like, oh, we
Uh.
should ally with Russia. I was like, you were like, oh,
No, I mean, yeah. There's a lot of the things that let's say the tariff war and stuff. There's no tariffs against Russia or North Korea.
oh, shut up. Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't even know about that. I just saw Eric Prince being like, we need to work with Russia. I was like, what are you saying, bro? He's like, China's the biggest threat. And China's looking like they're allying with Russia. We can't have two versus one. We need to make allies. And I was like, what? I thought they were the enemy, bro.
Yeah, I also don't think. Well, we'll see. I don't think that's he's right, but anyways, that's fine.
Okay, but what were you looking at? Like, explain this tariff war. Like, what? So there's no tariffs against.
Yeah, yeah. They didn't put anything against against Russia.
Okay, what's the update with the tariffs, bro? Like, I've just not even paid attention because I'm like,
Well, he just
This is too
did
much, guys.
blanketed reciprocal tariffs against most countries, or all countries, almost all countries.
No, all countries?
Yeah, whatever the ones he listed.
I did not see this in the news. Please update me. This is
Well, that's
crazy.
why the markets are crashing.
What?
Yeah, the day
Okay.
after it started to go down, everything on the markets, right?
Oh my God. Okay, that explains a lot. So me and Tara we started like playing life more like a video game, like financially. So we're like, okay, let's try and like I've started playing with Wealth Simple. I'm like, oh, it's like a game. You know, just put money in. But then she was like, hey, look at this graph. And I was like, what? The craziest dip. I was like, oh, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know why. Now I know why.
Yeah.
That's insane, bro. What?
Yeah.
Is that why the protest happened? I thought it was
It's
because like,
possible. Yeah, most likely. If it was yesterday or the day
oh,
before, yeah.
it was April 5th.
Oh, yeah, then that's just yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, because on Fridays when she showed me the steep drop.
Yeah, yeah. It was Thursday and Friday.
Oh my God. And then what did China say? Like China said something about a tariff war.
Yeah, they
I
did
saw that come
some.
up and I was like,
Yeah,
what?
they did some reciprocal tariffs on to America. So
Okay,
yeah.
is America the bad guy? What are we doing right now?
Well, and technically, yeah. There's no like. There's a reason when. I mean, there's a lot of people that's saying this, right? That you can use tariff strategically, but not a blanket tariff. That doesn't make sense. So,
Well, okay,
right,
but yeah,
where
not
the
like the world, like
yeah, a blanket tariff doesn't make sense.
yeah, because like a tariff is like, okay, we're going to push you in this direction by making you pay more. Right? It's like
It's like
I wanna
that, but
lean on you.
yeah, there was someone that explained it pretty good, where it was like the tariff can be used, let's say, to also bolster your economy or your manufacturing to reach that level. So let's just say, for instance, for example, would be like the EVs in China are super good.
Okay.
We're going to tariff those EVs so that our companies inside of America or Canada can reach that level. That's
Okay.
the point of but that's like an individual
like
tariff.
Like even it out.
Yeah. Put it in level playing field kind of thing. But that's a planned or like that's like, targeted tariffs.
Okay,
But
yeah.
a blanket tariff doesn't make sense. It's not like people are going to come back and manufacture in America. They're not going to go back and make shirts in America. That's not going to happen.
Oh my God, what are we doing? This reminds me of last week when we like after the podcast we were talking about the Signal chat
Yeah.
and they were just using Signal to like plan a strategic bomb strike or something. I'm like, what kind of Mickey Mouse job are we doing here, guys? Using Signal as like your like main chat thing, and now you're doing like blanket tariffs because you think it'll work, and it's just like, are we breaking the system? Like people are like, oh yeah, like
Yeah, people
we're
don't
just
understand
entering it.
what does this mean? Like, why are you doing this? And like, there's no like, well, he's not telling us what the plan is. Is it just for a
Yeah,
limited time? Like, what's the plan?
but then it's like, did you? It's almost like this. It's like if you have a F1 driver, right? And you're like, okay, we're going to use the F1 drivers from the past because they have historical knowledge of how to drive these cars,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're like, this is a fast racing cars, a lot to know, blah, 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 right? And then America was like, no, there's too much corruption in those F1 drivers, so let's put our own driver in. And now that driver's like, I don't know how the hell I'm driving this car, and they're just slamming into the walls, like, you know what I mean? And it's like, we're all like, oh boy, that's probably why you shouldn't have put an like a regular person instead of an F1 driver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of how it feels right now. I'm just like, what? Like, why'd you guys use Signal Chat?
Mm-hmm.
You know, why'd you guys put this blanket tariff? What are you guys doing, bro?
Yeah, and I
You
mean,
know?
he's like he didn't do this in the first term, but he had people that were like you see, it's
Taxi
like
drivers.
yeah, like now it's more like just people with yes men. No one's gonna deny it. Like no, we shouldn't do that. Like that kind of thing. right? No one is saying that around him. Well, at least
True.
that's what
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
saying, but I don't know. Yeah.
And even Elon Musk, right? Like it's like, yeah, you're a smart guy for businesses. I'll give you that one.
Mm-hmm.
But a business is not like a country. It's like, oh, I'm really good at NASCAR, so I should be good at F1.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
like, oh, dude, they're kind of different, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're both cars, yes, but like this is another level.
Yeah.
But this all again to me points to the Armageddon. It's like this is just going to dismantle everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like if America falls, China's going to take over.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap! Wait, Eric Prince was saying that they don't want. The biggest threat is that America loses the reserve currency for oil, and then China takes as the reserve currency. Right? And economists were saying this, like that book that I read, like it's not just Eric Prince, like we've all heard this. The reason why America's on top is because they're the reserve currency. If you crash the markets and your dollar becomes not good or like unstable, what if they shift to a different dollar? Like, could this be the moment where like we're like, oh, we can't make this the reserve currency, guys? It's too like you have a leader that's going crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've
Like,
heard
do you
different
think that?
things. I don't know if
Okay,
it's
cool.
positive. Like it's not necessarily the reserve currency thing that's keeping America's
Oh, like
money.
bombs too. Yeah.
There's other things, but I don't think China also wants their money to be, because then they're going to be like regulated. They'll be able to watch like the growth of their money. Right now, they can control how their money works because they're a communist country, right? So they don't we don't know the whole economy of China,
Right,
how it
right.
actually is doing, right? We
Yeah,
just know
yeah.
based on their reports, but doesn't mean that's right. Now, if you put their money across the world, then it causes other issues that they may not want to do.
Okay, is China really that bad? Or are we painting a bad picture of China? Remember the guy I trained with and he's like, oh,
Yeah,
China's
yeah,
terrible. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, okay, so on the ground, you guys really don't like it. All right, cool. But like, how bad is bad? Because we painted a terrible picture of Russia and now we're like, oh, you should align with Russia. Like, what the hell are you saying? What? I thought they were the enemy.
yeah. Right.
So it's like, do we have the incorrect narrative here?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what they mean by bad, right? Where would you consider that? What would be considered as
Because
bad,
I'm
right?
looking at these travel videos of China, and I'm like, they
Mm-hmm.
look pretty freaking lit, bro. The cities look pretty intense. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, but there's like ghost cities. You're like, okay, but like, really? I gotta see it, bro. Like we've
Mm-hmm.
seen the terrible, like being on the ground in America. You're like, dog, what are we doing?
Yeah.
The homelessness, right? But like, is it really that bad there? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or is this just governments being bad?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's people. They're not
Yeah.
attacking. It's not like Chinese people are bad. It's
No, I
just
agree, I agree.
yeah, it's just government versus government kind of thing. I don't
But
think I
then
think people
again,
in
it's
general
like,
are good.
so with all this, right? We are all looking at this on the internet being like, you guys are crazy. More more fuel for the burning down of society because you're like, dog, we need to restart. Like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
You mean we are literally like, I'll put this out there. Global economies, like the way we structured the world before, made a lot of sense before globalization, right? So like, Europe, America, Canada, whatever, we were so separate. Like before the internet, we were like, oh, so separate. But now we've become so connected that it's like you cannot run a separate style country or like a separate style world in a highly connected world. Your
Mm-hmm.
system is based off of complete separation. But
Yeah.
like we're not that separate anymore. We really need a new structure of government.
Yeah.
That sounds so anarchistic and like crazy, but that's also so punk rock, bro. That's what punk rock was saying the whole time. Like, the
But
system's broken.
I think that's the idea. The point of no wars was having business, right? Once you're working together, that's what there shouldn't be fighting.
Yeah.
Now, if you're doing terrorists and things like this is causing like going back to that
Yeah,
time
that's what I'm
of
saying, bro.
closing borders. Yeah.
And exactly. And then people are like, "Oh, don't worry, we got nukes." Dog, why are we gonna nuke them? I like
Mm-hmm.
those people. Like on
Yeah.
a human level, I like them. Why are you gonna explode
Mm-hmm.
them? You know what I'm saying? It's
Sure.
like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but before, no internet, bro. So it's like, okay, separation. Those are the enemy. We'll nuke them. Whatever, whatever. But it's like, no, dog, they got families. I love Chinese food. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like
it's
Kung Fu
yeah.
is
People
cool,
are
bro.
going everywhere, right? Like you've got people in Philippines, I got people in India. So it's like it's a
Right?
world now. It's not individualistic,
Yeah.
countries anymore.
So it's just like, but why are we running that old programming still? It's confusing to me. I'm like, what are you guys saying right now? Like, why are we running an ancient system?
Well, I mean, the point is, it's they voted that kind of person in, right? I don't think if it was a Democrat, I don't know if we would be in this kind of situation.
Oh, I see what you're saying. True. True. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because all the liberal votes are in like liberal cities, right? Like LA,
Mm-hmm.
New York City. Like these are all multicultural. I think you know what it is too. I think this is the confusion that we have when we don't live together. So
Oh yeah.
like in a city, okay. So I
Mm-hmm.
in like for my day job and like what my values system are is like all about inclusivity, right? It's all about bringing people together, working
Mm-hmm.
as one, whatever, whatever, right? I go, but then people are like, oh, we need to fight this good fight of like making sure that people work together as one in Canada, whatever, whatever, right? And I'm like downtown Toronto, I'm at the mall, Yorkdale, and I'm just like, dude, there's so many interracial couples. Actually, I said that to Tara. We were getting off the highway yesterday. And I was just looking at Yonge Street, and I was like, "There's so many interracial couples.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do we mean? It's like this is a totally different world from where we were like 50 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I think the only people that are seeing this separate
Mm-hmm.
mindset are the people that are not living in cities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Of
if
course.
you're living
Oh
in
yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
rural, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like because I have like
Yeah.
a because I work in a global environment or not a national environment, and it's just like some people will say something. I'm just like, I don't see that. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
so there's all white people, and I'm like, what are you saying, bro? Like, where are you living?
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that might be. Are you looking up something?
Yeah. No, because I think I mentioned before. I just want to confirm it. Because there was when you create that kind of segregation or pockets of people living of the same culture together
Yeah,
and not
yeah,
mixing with each other causes like infighting and stuff, right? Or not infighting, causes fight between the cultures or
yeah.
clash between the cultures. So like Singapore had a lot of riots because of these sort of things.
Oh, what? Like, what do you mean? I don't know
back
about this.
back in the day, yeah, like 1964, like 1960s, like that time. There was a
Okay.
lot of riots, and the way that the government, and like it's not there now, because it's like the rules, like who you're like how the neighborhood is created and like what your neighbors are. If your neighbor, like your neighbors have to be someone different than your culture, kind of thing like that.
Oh,
Then you
wow.
realize they're all just human. They're not different from each
Yes,
other.
yes, 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 yes. It's the interaction, man. We really need like, but that's where we are now, bro. Like, if
Mm-hmm.
you just go on the internet, like I see black people being really into like anime. I see like,
Yeah.
like white people being really Chinese, and you're just like, it's just because you like that thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, your culture did that really well. Like, personally, I don't like Filipino food, but I know a lot of people that love Filipino food, and it's just like that. It's like this is the world we're living in, bro, and if we
Mm-hmm.
don't realize it, we're running old software when our reality is totally different. Like the government structure and like or like even like okay, minimum wage. Sure, right. Minimum wage should be that amount. But you realize there's so many people that can't make ends meet, bro.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? It's like the operating system is too old to the way we're living now. And the only way to like disrupt that is to change the government structure.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like nobody's running off of policies of like minimum wage should be like $30 an hour because people can't survive. You know what I mean? And it's like because they can't, because they're ingrained in that system. So let's break the system, let's rebuild. But in the breaking, it's like, what are you losing?
Right.
We're gonna have anarchy in the meantime.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think that it'll evolve. Like where do you see this ending? Do you think it's going to be anarchy, or do you think it's going to be like we're going to invent something and people are going to like love it? Like I just don't know. I know at the end of it we're going to get to a good place, but getting there is going to be tough.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
And it's just like I just don't know. Like I really can't see the UN and like all that stuff being like we're so separate. You know what I mean?
But I don't know. I mean, I think the UN is
Trying to bring them all together, yeah, for sure, for sure. But I
yeah.
mean, like how we're all different, like countries, and we're just like they're the enemy. It's like not really. We don't have an enemy anymore, guys.
It's
Like you know what I mean?
sure. I mean, then you're talking about the one world government, right?
But I don't know if it's just a collectivist government, not a one world. Well, maybe it is one world, but it's more like a unified agreement between people. It's like commerce will just win, bro. Just let businesses run its thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then even that, it's like, okay, well.
But the thing is,
is
I understand. No, I understand. Yeah, let business do this thing, but there are certain things that businesses don't do that a government can only do.
Totally. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, like immigration. That's like, how many people do we let in this country?
Mm-hmm.
But like, should there be a world visa where like if you can make it in that country, you can stay there? But then how do we run the dollar? Like, it's just so disruptive that, because like every dollar is different. You know what I mean? Like the Mexican dollar is different than the Canadian dollar, like in terms of value. So like, how do you rectify that in the process of trying to make a one world utopia? Because there's automatically a disparity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless you give them free energy and hover cars, bro. Because like, if we have, all right, think about the future. If we have AI robots running around and you have like infinite energy to run those robots,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the work is already done. Now we're just chilling. So what is that going to do to society too? Because people are like, oh, massive unemployment. I'm like, sure, but like a lot of the workload is gone. So now what? Like, how do people like? How do you evaluate things if there is no cost to something? Do you know what I mean? It's like you have to pay. All right, so when you have a business, right? Like let's say farming, you have to think about the seeds, you have to think about the soil, you have to think about the workers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the energy, right? A lot of overhead costs. What if you can minimize those costs to basically nothing? And how much do you charge for that fruit? You know what I'm saying? It's like
Mm-hmm.
you kind of disrupted the way we do things.
Right.
Because it's like, okay, so is that fruit like basically free because it cost me nothing to make, or do you still charge me a lot of money?
I don't know, a lot of money. There's still labor and costs. Were you saying that just all machine doing it?
Yeah, all machine. Like they're just picking the thing.
Yeah, well, then there's
it's
still
automated
maintenance on the machine. There's still
Yeah, but like minimal. It's not like you're paying for everything now. Like you've reduced your cost to like,
sure.
let's say it went from like $1,000 to $100. So now
Mm-hmm.
does that trickle down? Do you still see? This is the greed part.
No,
Do
but
you
the thing is
still-
this: what was it saying? Like, who, if you're not working or if you're not making money, who's gonna buy it, right? A machine's not gonna buy an apple.
That's my question. That's what my question. That's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, you've already solved through the cost problem. So now it's like, now how do you get people to buy those things if there's no money? Because it's like basically free. You've kind of ruined the system.
Or then in that case, it just becomes that we just have machines doing all our work, and things would be free. Machines
But
can
like you
take care of
said-
each other. You're building the whole thing
But
to
somebody,
be run by machines. No, there
but
doesn't
somebody,
have to. Huh? No, we
but
get to
somebody
that point
still.
where we don't need a person anymore to do anything.
So then,
So
goodbye
then
humanity.
you bring back humanity, right? You don't have to. You're just gonna pick up an apple. You go pick up an apple if you need one. Like it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
The whole thing would then be free, right? It's just machines doing the work.
But then, how do you have a class system? How do you have a rich and
You won't.
poor? That's the point. You won't. And that's the point of what the people who are rich are trying to stop. Because they're like, we have all this power, bro. We can do whatever we want. But how do you get rid of that greed?
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? Like, and that's the suppression of this ideology of like, why don't we just select the best option for humanity as a whole? Well, because then I won't be in power. Oh, okay, so it's greed.
Mm-hmm.
So like you just want more than the other person.
That's those are the people that are stopping utopia. Yeah.
Yeah. And all right, so check this out. Remember the idea battle like Tom DeLonge was saying? That like there's these like metaphysical entities that are trying to put ideas in our head and it's actually a war between good and evil. Sounds crazy, right? And we're like doing our actions. So like who put the idea in Jake Barber's head to start this Skywatcher? He said, "Oh, I heard a voice." Who put this idea of um like the mathematics into Terrence Howard's head who never went to school, but he's a savant?
Mm-hmm.
Are there good entities fighting bad entities? Angels and demons? And on our physical plane, we're manifesting that war of like utopia or destruction. The evil people, like you said, like where's the power structure? Like rich and poor. You're like there won't be. Like that's the good angel being like there won't be. Yeah, there won't be.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bad angel's like, but you want power. You want greed. So is it like are there angels and demons like pushing the strings? You know what I mean? Like putting the ideas in our heads, being like, but don't you want the millions? Don't you want power over everyone?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
Like, doesn't that sound, it sounds crazy again. It sounds crazy, but it's like, you kind of justify that. No?
Justify. What do you mean?
Like that sounds plausible. Because what are these things making you want to be greedy? It's just an idea. It's a metaphysical entity.
Well, I mean, right now I would consider that as more like fighting for resources mentality.
Right. And if we have the potential to make infinite resources, why don't we move in that direction? Because the finite resource is what keeps people in power and other people not in power.
Sure. I mean, yeah, no, but they don't. I don't think they believe in that can ever be reached. Right.
The utopia?
Yeah. I know. I'm saying
If
like
Terrence,
I don't know if they. I'm not saying like Terrence Howard. I'm just saying like those people that are already like having that kind of power or greed or stuff. Right. That they're stuck in that kind of mentality. Right.
they're stuck in that mentality. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I
Yeah.
agree with you. I agree with you. Because you said like I don't think it could be reached, and I was like,
I mean, for them, I'm talking about like them thinking that a utopia will never be reached because this is how the world has been working forever. Right.
totally, totally, yes, 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 yes. But like, if if you're presented with the option of like, hey, we could potentially invent something that brings world peace,
Mm-hmm.
would you not? As I said that, aren't you inherently like, yeah, let's try it,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So like, I think that if you can't feel that, there's an evil demon holding on to you, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why can't you feel that sensation
Mm-hmm.
of like, really? You can do that? Show me. And that's why I like the Skywatcher team, because that's what they said. UAPs are real, guys. Blah, blah, blah. They're like, all right, put your money where your mouth is. Cool, we will. We'll fund it ourselves. That's
Yeah.
the intuition. You're like, oh, all right, prove it.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
But like, it's the people, like you said, who like want to keep the status quo. It's like, you have a demon, bro. Like, get rid of that demon. Like, what's holding you back from
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not making everyone happy?
Sure.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Um, what time are we at? I wanted to bring up something like super quick too.
Oh, an hour and 18 minutes in.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Two quick things.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, two quick things. So the JFK files got released. Okay, did you look into this at all? Okay, this is insane, bro. So what it turns out, what it's looking like, because like nobody's reading the 8,000 pages or whatever. Like only the lawyer. There's a lawyer that works for Stephen Greer and David Grush. David Grush? No. Lou Elizondo and Stephen Greer. They hate each other, but they're connected through this one lawyer, and that lawyer is protecting both of them. So he's really into the JFK files and all that stuff. And he's like, what we know from the release is already kind of what we already knew,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's just verifying what we kind of already knew. So what it's looking like is JFK after the like what was it, like the Cold War or something? Like the
Sure.
nuclears they
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
standoff. He's like, dude, we might destroy the Earth. So he contacted Russia and was like, hey, we need to work together because we can't destroy the Earth. This is crazy. So they're like, yes, let's joint work together. Okay. So then, as an act of good faith, he was like, I will give you our UFO files because we're seeing something. I know you're seeing something. Remember, they had the red button, like, before you launch the nuke, call me because, like, it might not be us, it might just be, like, the UFOs, right? So he's like, I'm going to give you our UFO files, and then you are going to, like, have them. That's our act of good faith. We're going to work together to go into space together, Russia and America. So then, in the process, JFK was like, hey, to the CIA people, give them our UFO files. And the CIA was like, why are you going to give them the UFO files? They found out that JFK wanted to work with Russia and they said, you're a treason. They didn't tell him this, but they're like, this is treason against the American people. We need to focus on America. So they colluded to have him assassinated. Bro. And you know what they did? It's so funny because it's like I do like contracting work for like other people, and like usually my work is repeat, right? So it's like if I do a good job, they're like, hey, we should probably do you for this, right? Like, yeah, sure. So the CIA put a hit out on Castro, right, prior to
Mm-hmm.
this, and then what they did was they're like, why don't we just go ask those people again? So the CIA didn't do it, but they outsourced the uh the killing of JFK because they believed he was against the American people. Dog. If that is fully true and like they're still like going through the files, whatever, whatever, it's like, how corrupt has this world been for the past 100 years, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Like that guy was just looking for peace. He's like, hey, we need to work together, bro. We can't blow each other up. And they're like, no, no, no. We need to keep America separate from. That's that mentality that we're saying. Like we're all trying to unify, but there's something keeping us separate. Why? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's the Tower of Babel. Remember, like, so like humans figured out how to communicate with one another. We built a tower that reached the gods, and then the gods destroyed the tower and then spread us around the world, and then gave us different languages so we couldn't figure out how to speak together, speak to one another.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's like it's an analogy in the Bible,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Or it might be true, who knows? But like, what if we're about to hit that again, and the aliens are gonna come, bro? Like, dude, you guys are too good. We need to destroy you.
Mm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe the idea is not to have us collaborate as one people.
Then there's,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
then,
Like,
yeah, 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 no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it kind of seems like something's stopping us from collaborating, and you're like, why? Why?
Maybe the aliens.
Or maybe the evil entities, maybe the angels and demons. Because it's not really aliens in the Bible. It's like Satan and God.
Sure.
Well, God's the one who destroyed us. God. Like, what? You're supposed to keep us together, bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, so that one's kind of freaky. Last thing, anything about the JFK thing?
No, I mean, no, I
That's
have
freaking
nothing else
gnarly
to
though,
say.
right? Like if I just gotta wait for that. Like if you guys like fully vet that and you guys are like, this is what happened, bro, we are living in a weird world.
Sure. Just keep it quick. The next thing. Then.
All right, cool. Zero. Uh, if we're talking about statistics, 0.00000001. Does that matter?
Depends.
Would you say it's a negligible number?
Sure. Depends on what you're talking about, but yeah, in a general term,
Right.
sure.
In a general term. Okay. There are 7 billion people on this earth. 1 divided by 7 billion is negligible. We don't matter.
Mm.
even if you have like 100 people, like let's say I die and you guys are all sad. Oh, like 100 people are like, oh, I'm so sad that Irvil's dead, right? 100 divided by 7 billion still does not matter, mathematically speaking. We literally are, and that was the craziest mind blow. You know the movie Killers? I watched that and he was talking about there's 7 billion people on Earth, and I was like, what? Wait a minute, hold on. 1 divided by 7 billion is nothing. So we all think we matter with our problems, but in reality, it's like it's just another one, bro. You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole idea of just looking into space and realizing just one tiny planet to a trillions and trillions of galaxies.
Yeah, but even when you look at it, that like yeah, totally. That's even greater. But like just thinking about people, you're like, what's going on, bro? We don't matter, you know?
Yeah.
And like, and then now you're like a planet within those planets. Like, okay, now the planet doesn't even matter. It's like we're all getting caught up in this game of fakeness.
Mm-hmm.
We all think it matters because it matters to us.
Right.
Is what it's like, all this UFO, free energy, utopia. It's like, at the end of the day, it's like a rock could come and destroy Earth, and we're like, oh, this actually didn't matter at all, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All that to say, just live your life, love your moments, because that's all you have, and you will just fade out into eternity, bro. It is what it is. Yeah. All right. Till next week. Any last things?
No, I mean, unless reincarnation is there, so we'll always be coming back.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I agree with that. Facts. But I mean, this incarnation of you.
Yes, is only one time. Yeah.
Unless we're all one. If we're all universal consciousness, then it's like, yeah, we're just iterations of one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, if there's an infinite consciousness, we are all already a thing.
Yeah.
And we matter despite being 1 out of 7 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Till next week. Take it easy, fish.
Peace.
Bye. All right. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors, Zenro Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podcast.